everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Did you guys have a good week this week?
Yes, we did.
Good. Well, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about technology and social media use. I want to start off with asking you guys all how much time that you spend on your technology and your media. Now, this doesn't just have to be your phone or your laptop, but this is how much music you listen to, how much time you watch TV, how much time you're working or on social media. How many hours do you guys think that you spend actually doing that? Now I want you guys to actually pull out your phones and look at your screen time. And I know you have all done this before, but it's a good reminder for us. So I want you all to pull out your phones and see your screen time and how much time you've been spending on your phone. Once you guys all have gotten there, who thinks that you have the least amount of time spent on your phone?
I'm down 9%. 5 hours and 46 minutes.
Okay. Is anybody less than 5 hours?
I'm 4 hours and 28 minutes.
Nice. Sweet. So around there, 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. That's a lot of time that we're spending throughout the day. Now I want you each to imagine that your phone, your laptop, your TV, your music, everything that we have technology-wise is gone. What is your life looking like now? I'm sure it's looking a lot different. So as the rise of smartphones has increased just over the past 15 to 20 years, studies show that there has been a massive nosedive in social interaction. And I don't think that is a coincidence. I think that correlates a lot together. Jackson, will you mind reading this quote for me?
Cell phone use drains our cognitive capacity so that we're less able to follow conversations or interpret others' social signals.
Yeah. So basically what that's saying is that as we're using our phones, our social skills have been declining, which is actually a really scary thought. I think we all know this a little bit too well. I know for me, I've seen on dates that I've been on or lunch dates with a friend that we have our phone sitting there, and anytime it buzzes, you immediately pick it up to see who is texting you or calling you or any type of message. And I think that we've been on both sides of that, either the person picking up your phone or on the opposite side. And I think being on the opposite side of that is not a very good time. I think we could all do a little bit better at keeping our phones down, especially when we are in a place where we are speaking with someone face to face. So technology affects many parts of our lives that we may not see right directly in our day-to-day lives. The three main things that technology affects is our communication, our social cognition, and our empathy. And I'm gonna dive into a little bit of these a little bit more. Jackson, would you mind reading this quote for me one more time?
Feelings aren't learned by looking at screens. When we lose the ability to read facial expressions, we lose empathy.
Yeah, so this is another scary thought about empathy, especially as young children are growing up and they have their eyes glued to a screen, either the TV, a tablet, or a phone. They are losing that ability to read facial expressions and be able to, in the future, to read empathy on other people and be able to express empathy to other people, which is something that really connects us as human beings. As we're expressing empathy towards others, we are growing closer together and connecting with each other. So now I want to focus a little bit on social media in general. Social media is obviously a really awesome tool that we have. I'm majoring in digital marketing, which has a lot to do with social media. And those virtual connections that we are making are really awesome. But studies have shown that as we are connecting with other people virtually, we're losing our connection with people in our actual real lives. There's an estimated 4.9 billion social media users. That's only going to increase from here on out. And the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media alone by itself. So your 4 hours or your 5 hours, usually that's spent about 2 hours strictly on social media, which is a lot of time out of our day. There's a lot that social media affects in our lives, and one of the main things is mental health. I'm sure we've all heard of how social media affects our mental health, but one of the biggest things is that it can negatively affect us with our anxiety and our depression and our loneliness. Studies have shown that teenagers and young adults prove to be more lonely than the elderly or the widowed, which is super scary because why are we so lonely? And professionals think that it has to do with our social media use. So the power of a genuine connection, what does that mean and how are we going to do it? I think there's a lot that goes into it, but one of the biggest things is we're able to build connections with other people. How we do that is we are vulnerable with others and we are authentic. When we're over our social media and with our text messages and phones, we're not able to show that vulnerability as much as we would when we're face to face with other people. So we're losing that ability to build connections with other people, which is obviously bringing us down as a society and taking that nosedive, as we saw earlier, into our social skills. Another thing is being open and honest in our interactions, which also creates that deeper connection that we have with other people. I'm sure over social media we've all seen like, oh, their life is so perfect because they're doing this and this and they're on vacation. But that's not how people's lives are actually. They are putting up that front of how glorious their lives are, which is not actually how they feel in general. So being open and actually honest with other people cultivates that deeper meaning with others. So how are we going to do that? How do we cultivate those messages and those connections with other people when we're face to face? One of the biggest things is smiling. I love this little slide because just looking at it, there's a lot of smiley faces on there and it just makes you smile, which is super awesome. I'm just going to read this quote from Ding Li. He's also a researcher. It says, "When our smiling muscles contract, they fire a signal back to the brain, stimulating our reward system and further increasing our level of happy hormones, or endorphins. In short, when our brain feels happy, we smile. When we smile, our brain feels happy." So I know probably a lot of you have heard about this, like when you're upset and your mom is just like, "Oh, just smile about it." And I'm like, that won't do anything, but actually it really does because it's scientifically proven that it does actually make you happier. And that's how we connect with other people. We connect with other people through smiling and through those endorphins that are being released when we're with other people. So what I want to invite all of us to do is to create more unplugged moments in our lives. This can be recognizing places that we should set aside our devices, which could be our dinner dates and our time at concerts and our time walking to class, and like when you're on campus, that's a big thing that I need to work on. But finding a new hobby and getting out and having fun is something that we can all do instead of spending those 4 hours on our technology. So what I want to invite us to do is leave all of this behind just for a few hours out of your day and turn a little bit more towards the people that are actually there in our lives and aren't over a screen. So what I'm asking you guys to do is to actually set our phones down and decide to look up and look at other people and create those genuine connections. And most importantly, what I want us to do is not forget to smile. Thank you.